Thank you. And just to provide a little bit of input, we are waiting for our chair, but just to make sure we're following all of the rules well, we would like, oh, good. Okay, here she comes. Okay. So we don't have to do what we were about to do. Okay. Give us a moment.
Thank you, Commissioner Henley. Good afternoon. Apologies for starting us late. I understand that we have been called to order, so the first item of business is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. The next item is the approval of the August 24th, 2023 meeting minutes. Were emailed to us several weeks ago or a week ago. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Any other discussion? Motion carried. Yes, we need to vote. All in favor? Okay, motion carries. Next item is the recognition of council members. And given this is a new council term, we'll have to get used to some faces. So first is Councilwoman Kimbrough. Welcome, nice to see you. If you come, you're welcome to come forward.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to address a couple of things that affect my district. And I think they're items number 13 and
Item 14.
Oh, you said 14?
13 and 14.
Okay, well, I was addressing the zoning.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, those would have to go to council. And I just wanted to say at this time, I'm not in a position to support those until we have a community meeting. I promised my community meetings on all zoning issues, so I will not be able to support those until we are able to have a meeting and discuss it. And then I think those are the only items that would actually go to council. However, I did just want to voice my support for Mr. Sean Page, who I think is here. He's item number 23, so. Oh, he was here earlier. There he is. Okay. But anyway, not that that would mean anything, but I just want to voice my support for that one and let you know that I'm unable to support the others until we have community meetings. Okay. Thank you. And that's all. Anything else from you?
Yeah. Commissioner Clifton.
Councilmember, congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you asking us to defer it or just to let us know that you'll be making up your mind between now and the council?
Well, someone told me that I could not actually defer it. It would have to be the person who requested it. But I would ask that they request that it be deferred until your maybe November meeting. We're going to have a meeting in October.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure the community knows what's going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Any other?
No, that's it.
All right.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And our next Councilman Coopin. Hi, welcome. Great to meet you.
How's it going? Good to be here. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here. Excited to start a new term. I'm Jacob Coopin. I was the Historic Buena Vista Neighborhood Association president and then newly elected District 19 councilperson. I've got a couple items on the agenda, but I wanted to just speak on 909 and 917 Cheatham Place. These were developers that came to our neighborhood early, spoke with us, worked with our community, addressed community concerns from design, parking, other issues, are contributing to the neighborhood fund, or doing a lot of things that the neighborhood has asked. So just wanted to speak in support of that project. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Okay, is that?
I think we caught all the new council members, but if we might just, since we do have a new, many new members, is there anyone else from council at the new the new class? Okay. We thank both of the new members for coming today.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is item E, the issues for deferral and withdrawal. Okay, before we run through that, if we have the applicants for 13 and 27, if they could go speak with Lisa before we run through things, that would be great.
So Amelia, are you just planning to skip those until there's a discussion and then address it at the end? Is that the game plan? These are the two items that the councilwoman requested the commission consider. Is that correct?
Yes, I think both of those items were on our tentative agenda. So we'll go through deferrals and see how quickly we do that. Okay, item E tonight, items for deferral or withdrawal. Starting on page 3 of your agenda, item number 1, 2023 CP 013001, Donaldson Hermitage Old Hickory Community Plan Amendment. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. Item number 2, 2023 CP 014002, Donaldson Hermitage Old Hickory Community Plan Amendment. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. On page 4 of your agenda, item number 3, 2014 SP 050002, 4214 Central Pike Amendment. Staff recommendation is deferred to the December 7th meeting. Item number 7, 2023 Z 066 PR 001. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. On page 5 of your agenda, item number 9, 2023 SP 048001, The Grove at Buena Vista. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. Item number 10, 2023 SP 070001, 206 North First Street Hotel. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. Continuing on page 6 of your agenda, item number 15, 2023 S 112001 Oakwood Preserve. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. Item number 17, 2023 S 123001 Frankie Lee Moore. Staff recommendation is deferred to the October 26th Planning Commission meeting. On page 7 of your agenda, item number 19, 2023 S 149001, subdivision of the LSP Jakes property. Staff recommendation is to defer to the October 12th meeting. On page 8 of your agenda, item number 24, 2023 Z 078 PR 001, staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. And on page 9 of your agenda, item number 29, 2023 Z 092 PR 001, staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. And item 30, 2023 Z 093 PR 001, staff recommendation is deferred to the October 12th meeting. Thank you. Should we wait a second? Or will we deal with it off the consent?
Did you complete a reading of all the items with the exception of the two from Councilwoman Kimbrough?
So we ran through the items that had previously been published as deferrals. And so are those items being deferred? Okay, those items, so we will keep those items on the agenda and run through them with the consent agenda.
Okay, I will address those with the commission at that time. So my advice is to move forward with the deferral list as read.
Okay, so to recap, the items for deferral are items 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10, 15, 17, 19, 24, 29, 30.
That's correct.
Okay, commissioners, so we've heard our list of items for deferral. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. So the next item is item F, the consent agenda.
So Lisa, just may I address now, so there are two items that the councilwoman said she's not prepared to support because she had not had community meetings yet. Lisa, is there opposition to those items?
I only talked to the applicant on one of the items, and we won't know until we sort of run through the agenda to see if there is opposition.
So why don't you read those off as consent just for a moment? We'll see who's here, and then I suggest the commission before voting on that, we can have a discussion about the applicant's wishes, and then you can decide.
Okay, moving on to items on the consent agenda. As noticed to the public, items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or commission requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda. So I will read through all the items on the tentative consent agenda and ask if anyone is here in opposition. If you are, please raise your hand and the item will be presented in the order that they appear on the agenda. If no opposition is present for the item, it will be put on the consent agenda. Starting on page 4 of your agenda, item number 4, 2023 SP 005001, Riverside at Metro Center SP. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? That item will be put on the consent agenda. Item number 5, 2023 SP 059001, 475 Humphreys Street. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 6, 2023 SP 069001, 3800 Old Hickory Boulevard. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 5 of your agenda, item number 8, 2007 SP 146001, 1420 Old Hickory Boulevard Amendment. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 11, 2023 SP 073001, 909 and 917 Cheatham Place. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will remain on the consent agenda. Item number 12, 2023 SP 074001, 304 Oldham SP. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Moving on to page 6 of your agenda, item number 13, 2023 SP 075001, Cato Road Acres. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 14, 2023 S 044001, Eaton's Creek Commons. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 16, 2023 S 121001, Clarksville Pike. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Moving on to page 7 of your agenda, item number 18, 2023 S 131001, minor subdivision of the John D. Lyles property. Is anyone in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 20, 2023 S 154001, Hallmark Section 5. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 21, 2023 S 158001, Chandler Reserve Phase 2. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 22, 11785P001, Crossgate Village PUD Amendment. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 8 of your agenda, item number 23, 2017 UD 001002, Whites Creek at Lloyd Road, UDO 3922 Lloyd Road. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 25, 2023 Z082 PR 001. This is a rezoning on 31st Avenue North. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 26, 2023 Z089 PR 001. This is a request to rezone along Chilton Street. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 27, 2023 Z090 PR 001. This is a request to rezone along Ashton Avenue. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 28, 2023 Z091 PR 001. This is a request to rezone along Whites Creek Pike. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 31, 2005 UD 006 056. This is a UDO modification. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will also be on the consent agenda. And that concludes our initial run through.
Okay. So we're gonna go through it again though, right?
Yeah, I'll read through it with the recommendations. Did we want to discuss the other items?
So commissioners, Councilwoman Kimbrough came and spoke about two items that would be rezoning items. That would be item number 13, which is Cato Road Acres. It's a request to rezone to SP. And then item 23, Lisa, is that correct?
27.
Item 27, which is a request to rezone from RS10 to R10 on Ashton Avenue. And so there are a couple of different ways to look at this. On the one hand, the commission will routinely defer to council members in the event that they request a deferral for a particular purpose. I'd leave it to your discretion whether you think that's what was said when she spoke. On the other hand, the commission's role and council's role is different. So as you know, for rezonings, the commission is providing advice to council. And so in the event that you chose to move this case forward on consent as there's no opposition, then the council member would have the option to bring that forward at council. So this commission can review a case and the case not move forward at council because the council member chooses not to move it or not, to move it or not. So if you were to choose to do so and she later, for any reason, determined that she did not want to take those rezonings forward, then you will have done your job and she will have presumably done her job. And so that, Lisa, did you want to add anything procedurally there?
I was going to add that because of where we are in the month, these bills would actually not be filed until the end of October for introduction at the first meeting in November. And so there is time between us sending the bill over and it actually getting to council for a community meeting to happen if the council member wanted to pursue that. And then there's also, from the time that you introduce until public hearing, another month. And so we're probably a couple of months out from public hearing at council. And so it's not unusual for council members to have community meetings sort of between when the planning commission hears it, when the council has their public hearing.
Commissioner Henley.
And I may have misheard, but just as a matter of clarification, I believe that the council member came in to the podium and spoke with support of item number 23. I think number 23 was one that And I know, I think the council members,
So 23 is a modification. That one actually doesn't go to council. And so she has two zone changes that were,
Items 13 and 27.
13 and
are the two
27,
she's speaking.
okay.
I'm sorry, I misspoke I said 23 initially, it was 27, forgive me. I think she said she's not supportive of either until she has that community engagement. So it's really a question of if you want to process the case tonight, and in which case it would be on consent, it's been read on consent, or if you want to take another step, a different direction.
I think you said this and I didn't quite hear, but so if it was, she was asking for a deferral until November, if it goes forward tonight with the council, is it then on what's the timeline at that point?
if you all were to make a positive recommendation, then we would send the bill over at the next filing deadline that we follow. So we only file bills sort of once a month. And we file bills to track with the first council meeting of each month. And so the filing deadline for any items that receive a positive recommendation from you all tonight would be for us to send them over towards the end of October for a potential first reading at the first council meeting in November. And then a public hearing at the first council meeting in December. And so there's still a couple of months between if you all make a positive recommendation tonight and the item actually being on public hearing at council. And so it's not uncommon for council members to have items go to the planning commission and then them have a public meeting sort of in between planning commission action, which you all are looking at the policy, and then before the public hearing.
Okay. Commissioner Clifton, do you have a question?
Well, it's an interesting question that doesn't come up except at the beginning of a term. And maybe it's because I've been a council member before, but I've always seen the role of a council member to help inform us, and not to say that we will always be bound by that. We often haven't gone along with it. But at the beginning of someone's term, and she was not unopposed, and as she's asked for us to defer it. And sometimes a council member, particularly a new council member in an area where they haven't had consistent representation that was helpful to the commission, needs to be granted what she asked for. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I realize that she could, in fact, be fine with this or maybe oppose it, whatever we do, but I would like not to be bound by what she suggests, but for her to gather her thoughts about what the community thinks and what she thinks about the whole planning process. So that's why I would be inclined to defer it, even though it does appear to be fairly routine.
I was kind of going to say something similar as Commissioner Clifton. The staff has reviewed it, and there's no opposition. So, traditionally we would be, stay on consent. But she brought it up that she asked for it to be deferred based off of, was it just her? Was it something she had? So that's why I'm a little bit, I don't want to rule it, I'd be kind of hesitant to vote against it, not knowing, staff approved it, no opposition, but it does feel like maybe a deferral might be prudent just because she brought it forward, and I know probably hasn't had a chance to had a lot of input yet. I do appreciate the council, like it's not going to go to council till basically the end of October, so that does give her opportunity to have meetings. So let me ask that question. So let's just say there's an issue, then it's not going to come back to us. She will have to address it in council. And if there's any changes, she'll have to make all the changes in council, which maybe is not unusual.
Which I would say is not unusual. Yeah. I mean, sort of, for rezonings, we as staff are advising you. We're giving you all our advice, our professional opinion based on the land use policy. And your role per the rules and procedures is to review zone changes based on the adopted land use policy. Sometimes you agree with us, sometimes you don't, about whether or not it meets the land use policy. And so then you're advising council on whether or not you find that the request for the rezoning is consistent with the land use policy. Council's role and view can sometimes vary from the planning commission's role and view because they have different constituencies, if you will, and so they have to make different decisions. If something receives a positive recommendation, we automatically send the legislation. Whether or not a council member chooses to sign that legislation, which is actually the action that gets introduced, is 100% up to the council member. Whether they sign it immediately when we send it is up to them. I saw some bills that just got signed for this next introduction that we sent over in June. They were held, and now they've been signed and introduced. And so when they sign it to get it introduced is solely up to them. The fastest timeline, if we were to send it over, would be, if it was to receive a positive recommendation from you all, the fastest timeline would be a first reading at the first meeting in November with a public hearing, which is generally just a, they're all just on the agenda. There is no discussion. It's just to get it into the system. And then the public hearing would be at the first council meeting in December. And so we're still a couple months out if it was to sort of follow the normal timeline before there would be a public hearing at council.
And you said there was no letters of opposition or anything?
I think we got one call, but that was it.
Thanks.
On one of the items. Yeah.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, with that, all the timing and new council members' position, I think prudent thing for us to do is defer to October 26th meeting. So that will give council lady enough time to conduct community meeting, and also it will meet council time, filing timing. If it doesn't not meet.
No, items that are heard tonight and at the October 12th meeting are filed at the end of October. Items that are heard at the end of October are filed at the end of November for introduction in December and public hearing in January. So a deferral to the end of October would push out the council schedule 1 month.
So what about if we were to defer to next meeting with the same calendar?
It could then stay under the same calendar from a council perspective. But that is all, of course, then, like I said, dependent on the council member signing the legislation. And that's not an automatic.
My sense hearing from commissioners is that they would like to recommend deferral of the two items that the councilwoman spoke on. And so I think after speaking with council, my advice is to Amelia read, getting a sense of the commission, tell me if you're not happy, but is to read the consent items with those two removed, and then we'll vote on these other two separately after consent. Lisa, not knowing her calendar, if we defer this one meeting, she likely won't have had time to have the discussion that you want to give her time to do. And so, on the other hand, we could just defer at one meeting and do some more coordination with her. And if we need to recommend deferral again, we can do that subsequently. Right. So why don't we go ahead and hold the consent, read through those items and vote on that minus these two cases. Lisa, I'm going to pop over and visit with you for just a moment as that's happening.
Okay, so I will read through the items on our consent agenda. As information for our audience, if you are not satisfied with the decision made by the Planning Commission today, you may appeal the decision by petitioning for a writ of cert with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of the entry of the Planning Commission's decision. To ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met, please be advised that you should contact independent legal counsel. Items on the consent agenda, starting on page 4 of your agenda. Item number 4, 2023 SP 005-001, Riverside at Metro Center. This is a request to rezone from R6 to SP along Clarksville Pike. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. Item number 5, 2023 SP 059001, 475 Humphreys Street. This is a request to rezone from CS to SP for properties along Humphreys Street. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. Item number 6, 2023 SP 069001, 3800 Old Hickory Boulevard. This is a request to rezone from RS20 to SP for property at 3800 Old Hickory Boulevard. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. On page 5 of your agenda, item number 8, 2007 SP 146001, 1420 Old Hickory Boulevard Amendment. This is a request to amend a specific plan for property at 1420 Old Hickory Boulevard. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. Item number 11, 2023 SP 073001, 909 and 917 Cheatham Place. This is a request to rezone from R6A to SP for properties at 909 and 917 Cheatham Place. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. Item number 12, 2023 SP 074001, 304 Oldham SP. This is a request to rezone from IR to SP for property at 304 Oldham Street. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. On page 6 of your agenda, item number 14, 2023 S 044001, Eaton's Creek Commons. This is a request for a final plat approval to create 45 lots for properties along Ashland City Highway. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 16, 2023 S 121001, Clarksville Pike. This is a request for a final plat approval to create 2 lots along Clarksville Pike. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions including variances to section 4 of the subdivision regulations. On page 7 of your agenda, item number 18, 2023 S 131001, minor subdivision of John D. Lill's property. This is a request for a final plat to create 1 lot for property at 3974 Couchville Pike. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions including variances from section 4 of the subdivision regulations. Item number 20, 2023 S 154001, Hallmark Section 5. This is a request for a final plat to create 33 cluster lots along Pinhook Road. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 21, 2023 S 158001, Chandler Reserve Phase 2. This is a request for a final plat approval to create 53 cluster lots along Chandler Road. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 22, 11785P001, Crossgate Village PUD Amendment. This is a request to amend a PUD along Murfreesboro Pike to permit vocational school uses. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. On page 8 of your agenda, item number 23, 2017 UD 001002, Whites Creek at Lloyd Road, UDO 3922 Lloyd Road. This is a request for a modification to the Whites Creek Urban Design Overlay for property at 3922 Lloyd Road. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 25, 2023 Z082PR001. This is a request to rezone from RS5 to R6 for property at 528 31st Avenue North. Staff recommendation is to approve. Item number 26, 2023 Z089PR001. This is a request to rezone from RS7.5 to R8A for property at 209 Chilton Street. Staff recommendation is to approve. Item number 28, 2023Z091 PR 001. This is a request to rezone from RS 7.5 to RS 6 for property at 2327B Whites Creek Pike. Staff recommendation is to approve. And on page 9 of your agenda, item number 31, 2005 UD 006 0056. This is a request to modify the UDO for properties at the corner of Parthenon and 31st Avenue. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. And items under H, other business, item number 32, memo for new member appointment to the DTC, DRC, and item 36, accept the director's report and approve administrative items.
Did you mention the additional condition?
Are we good?
One addition.
Okay.
Item number 12 was approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions, including an additional condition that was outlined on a memo that's before you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we are saying that into the record.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read this back to you. I feel very rusty since we haven't been here in a month and a half or something, a month. Items for the consent agenda are items 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 12, 14, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 28, 31, 32, and 36. I think the list that you just read off forgot 16.
16?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And then 13 and 27 we'll handle separately in a moment. Okay. Commissioners, that is our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, the consent agenda passes. And now items 13 and 27.
My suggestion here is to just defer one meeting to October 12th. We can defer again if we need to, but that'll help us talk to the new council member as well as both applicants.
If you guys don't mind, leaving quietly so we can proceed with our business.
So defer one meeting. It may be that we recommend deferral more after that, but for your purposes today, I would defer it one meeting to October the 12th. And we will work with the councilwoman and go from there. But we do need a motion.
Okay, I'm going to give it 1 second just so everyone can hear. Okay, commissioners, so what's in front of us is a one-meeting deferral to October 12th on items 13 and 27.
I make a motion to move, defer to the next meeting, October 2nd.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, those two items are deferred until the next meeting.
It's October
12th,
12th.
12th,
Yeah, okay,
right?
okay. Yeah, okay.
Did we hear something? I thought she said it today. I heard second.
Oh, yeah. Are we good? The 12th?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so
Maybe confirm there's no items to be.
does that mean there's no items that we're hearing this evening? I think that's correct. I know.
That's correct.
Okay, it's a transitional time in the calendar. Yeah, you do, for your 13th year. Okay, so that takes us to our standing reports, and I forget the order they go in, so hold on 1 second, let me remember. What? That was on consent. So the first item is Commissioner Johnson, the Historic Zoning Commission.
I I'm sorry, I have no report for today.
That is okay. Commissioner Henley, would you like to share anything about parks?
Just that we have an upcoming meeting on the 3rd, and I'll be hosting my first acquisition committee. So excited for that as we continue to expand our greenway system.
Great. Jumped in with both feet, heading up a committee. I don't believe that we have an executive committee report. I apologize for missing the last work session. I don't think we have any others on the calendar at this time.
We will be reaching out to commissioners. We will be reaching out to commissioners separately to set the next work session date where we want to talk about some of the key initiatives that we're working on. And then would you like for me to just go with the executive?
Please do.
Report? I want to thank all of you for your time at the last work session, talking about real property planning and the department's organization. And then the other thing to share is that with the new council in session, our team went and gave a briefing to the new members at an orientation, well, new and old members, and it went really well. I was incredibly proud of the scope of our work, and we worked with them for about 3 hours. So it was excellent. We expect to have the new member from council. Council has to vote on their representative to us, who will rep them and also be the chair of Planning and Zoning Committee. And we think that that will happen before the end of October. And so looking forward to knowing who might be sitting in that chair. But otherwise, I just want to thank you for all of your service to the city and look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. So that's it.
We have a plaque here. We can't have a legislative update, so I guess that brings us to the end of the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? No. All right, we are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.